Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyrus Fiene Team channel. And if you're watching this right now, we are live on the market here in Bothell at our latest listing. Now, right now, we're a few weeks before we're on the market and we're in preparation. So often you see our listings come on and they look really nice and pristine, but we never really ever share the behind the scenes and all the time and effort and preparation that go into getting these listings ready. So today we're going to walk you through kind of what we did in addition to, of course, seeing the finished product. Since we've been doing real estate for over 10 years, we've developed excellent relationships with all kinds of vendors over the years and really narrowed down to the ones that we know do good work, are affordable, and are reliable. And you can name any type of vendor, we have it. Roofer, plumber, electrician, someone who does insulation, painting, flooring, lighting, what have you, we've got those contacts. And that's what helps us help our sellers get ready to get on the market and get the most money for their home. In addition to having these contacts, we coordinate everything for our sellers. So in this case, the sellers are out of state. This is the seller's mother's home, and unfortunately she had to be moved into assisted living. So the home hasn't been updated for a long time, and because he's out of state, he doesn't have the capacity to connect with all the contractors and coordinate everything. So as a result, being a full service agent and team, we are coordinating literally everything from every estimate, running it by him, and then bringing it back to the vendor and saying, okay, we're good to go, and coordinating the entirety of the updates. Now, beyond the preparation, of course, we're going to be coordinating the staging, the photography and marketing, and then of course, getting it on the market and doing the open houses. Now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a few weeks when we're officially on the market. See you in a moment. And just like that, we are done. In a blink, those 3 weeks went by. And now today, I am so excited to show you our latest listing. So as we come down the hallway, we pass the first half bath, and I am now standing in the great room here on the main floor. And just to give you a little recap of the statistics of this house, it's just over 1,600 square feet, 3 beds, 2.5 bath, and we are just about 3 minutes from downtown Bothell. It is an absolutely phenomenal location. You could easily walk to McMinimum's and come back, and that whole downtown area that has really flourished over the last 10 years. It's so exciting to see the finished product, and the staging is just the cherry on top. As you can see, obviously the carpets have all been redone, the millwork, the baseboards have all been redone, and it just makes such an enormous difference. It's tough at first when we're standing in the room and nothing has been done for years and years and trying to create that vision, and it can be really challenging for a seller to see that. And everyone has their own budget they're working with, so we have to do our best with what the seller has to work with. And I think this is such an excellent example of a seller that was able to do some of the stuff, and maybe not everything like the kitchens and bath, but we really got the most important things out of the way so that the next buyer, the next owner of this home, can really start with a blank canvas and move right in and not feel like they have to really do anything off the bat. And that can be really impactful. So at the very beginning, we worked really hard with the seller to talk about what their budget is and how we can stay within that budget and really maximize the ROI. And lighting is an excellent item that you can really use to increase the value of the home and have it really nice and show ready. If you remember, there was a chandelier right here behind me, and it made this space really tough to use because maybe the next buyer wasn't gonna use this space as a dining space and they wanted to use it as even a larger part of the living room. That's why we opted for a light fixture that kind of sits a little higher, that allows the flexibility for you to use it as a dining room if you want, or you could also continue to use that space as an expanded living room and not feeling like that chandelier is truly defining the space or taking up space that maybe you'd want to use. So here we are in the breakfast nook, or maybe the dining room if you so chose. And again, we have another example of the lighting that was changed. Lighting can really make a home feel brand new or very dated. We changed all of the light fixtures in this home to really bring it into the modern era. As I mentioned, old baseboards that are small and thin really make a home feel dated. Here we replaced all of them, and it's really single-handedly bring this home into the modern era where it feels really nice and fresh. Now in the kitchen, we chose not to change anything. That is a much larger remodel and definitely a lot more personal, so we wanted to leave that to the next buyer. That being said, we did replace the flooring, which definitely helps and gives this kitchen a little bit of new life, so it buys some time for the next buyer to kind of save up and change the kitchen to however they like. So as we come upstairs, we find ourselves on the landing, and there's no wasted space up here. You immediately find the 3 bedrooms within just a few feet of each other, as well as the second full bath. So to my right, we have the 3rd bedroom. To my left, right here, we have the 2nd bedroom. And then just the next door over, we have the primary suite with an ensuite bath and closet, of course. So we are in the primary suite right now, and this is a king-size bed, just to give you some perspective. Now, beyond the baseboards and carpet and paint in this bedroom, we also redid the flooring in the ensuite bath, as well as the flooring in the 2nd bathroom upstairs. Again, bathrooms are pretty personal, similar to the kitchen, so we felt that it was very appropriate to change the flooring, just to give it a little bit of a refreshed look, but again, allowing the buyer to change it to however they like. Of course, we are factoring into the price the reality that the bathrooms and kitchen need to be updated. But on the other hand, it's not to overlook the fact that the seller has put a lot of money into getting this home prepped and ready and turnkey for anyone that just wants to move in, live in it, and make those updates. We'll let you know how much the seller ultimately spent at the end of this video. So let's do a quick recap of all the work that has been done in preparation. We have the paint for the entirety of the house, ceilings included, all of the baseboards, all of the lighting. We also redid the carpet and flooring and the landscaping in and around the entirety of the house. So we de-weeded, mowed the lawn, took care of any of the bushes that needed to be trimmed, and then added a layer of bark to really beautify the space. Not only that, we did have the home inspected prior to coming on the market, as we mentioned, and that also identified a few issues in the crawl space that needed to be taken care of. This seller spent about $4,000 redoing the crawl space, making sure that there's no access for rodents, putting down a new vapor barrier, re-insulating, and connecting the heating ducts that needed to be connected. So that was an extra expense that we hadn't expected, but really were able to get ahead of any buyer that was gonna call it out as an issue because we were able to take care of it ahead of time. So how much do you think this cost the seller in its entirety? Now, I do wanna preface, we are in Seattle, so the cost of everything is more expensive. And ultimately, the amount that this seller spent to get this home ready was nearly $35,000. Now, on the other hand, we're expecting a return considerably higher than that. When we did our analysis at the very, very beginning, we were easily able to establish that this $30,000 investment would yield about $60,000 to $100,000 more at the end of the sale. So as a result, the seller absolutely was on board and we were able to really make it happen. And I think they are thrilled with the result. We can't wait to have the open houses this weekend and show everyone this amazing home. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this kind of inside look at what it takes to prepare a listing and the process, and of course, the finished product. If you want to see this property in person and check it out, or maybe you know someone that's interested, please share this video with them and reach out to us. We're always happy to show you at any property here in the Seattle metropolitan area. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and we really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.